this is Mohsin here from IslamicArtPrints.com. We are here with the wonderful Richard MacLeod, who is one of our featured artists on our website. And we wanted to have a conversation with Richard today to talk to him a bit about his art, a bit about his career. So hopefully this is going to be an interview that you're going to find very, very interesting. Richard is somebody who I've known for a number of years. I had the pleasure of meeting him in person for the first time back in 2015 at the Muslim Lifestyle Expo in Manchester, where he was exhibiting some of his incredible work. And I remember back then talking to Richard about some of the depth behind his paintings, and the way that he explained the meaning behind some of his work was mind-blowing. And we thought, you know what? We could never do justice to that ourselves. So what better than to have Richard on personally to talk about some of his artwork and his career himself. So Richard, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with us today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Um, Talk to us a bit about your background, Richard.
Okay. First and foremost, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Walaikum salam.
I'm so happy to be with you. Your class you, my wife and I will class you and your wife to be and Sadiqa to be dear friends and Samia because
Of course.
yeah
Oh,
to be dear
thank you, Richard.
friends and it's always a pleasure to be with you, especially talking about art and calligraphy. It's something we share that passion together.
Definitely.
And that we've discussed this in many conversations over the 10 years now. My background was somebody who was 53 years old now. My background is the history now. So I love drawing and painting since I was a kid. My father was a calligrapher. He didn't pursue it too much. And he went more into sales, marketing, advertising, but he kept that passion, and I was so contagious to watch him doing his commissions.
Hmm.
I grew up with this passion, and then I went into architecture because I thought this is the closest I can get to a profession that will make me money.
Yeah.
It was a good profession. It taught me a lot about business management, about project management, about discipline, in a more commercial context. So it gave me a bit of level head as an artist, if you like, for later. Um, I came to the UK in 2001 as an asylum seeker, and then did law and different things, and went back to art. Um, eh, did lots of things with art, but calligraphy. Since 2009, I decided to be a full-time artist.
Hmm.
So now I do it as a full-time job with another couple of full-time jobs.
Hmm.
Um, so and but I decided from the beginning I don't want to just go on copy. The
Yeah.
thing is with calligraphy, it's copying, but we'll just touch on that later. And I
Yes.
wanted to make my own mark.
Yeah. We can talk about that a bit later on. I have got some questions around that for you. But what do you think when do you think you actually felt inspired to pick up a brush or a pencil or something to actually, when was the first time you felt the urge to do this as a profession or something that you could make money from?
Well, there's two sides to the question.
Uh-huh.
One, when I felt inspired to do it,
Yeah.
but the other one is um, something that
Professionally.
something that will make money.
Yeah.
Because it took me a while to understand how this can make money, and it's
Sure.
not an easy task, as you understand, obviously, with Islamic art prints.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I first did it because I was 2009, I think. How old I was? I was in my 30s somehow, somewhere. I think. Don't know. I'm not good with numbers.
Don't worry.
Um, but 2009, I was having this discussion with the friends, and I was at that split road to want to go. I just did my postgraduate studies with filmmaking, and I did a couple of films. They did really well, and I was thinking, do I go with films or do I do what? And my concern was, to be blunt, money.
Hmm.
Um, so a couple of friends said to me, don't follow the money, let the money follow you. And that just changed my perspective. So I went with calligraphy, and as I go along, I just figured out what do I do, how do I do it to make money out of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it was more of like a work in progress. You didn't have a business plan at the start of this, because I know, mashallah, you're a very accomplished businessman yourself. You had your own architecture firm. You're an entrepreneur in your own right. You do a number of things. People who know you personally, the way that we do, know that you have had your fingers in a number of pies. But when you went into art, it was more of the feeling that kind of drove you into that side.
I was following my heart. I was a bit of a hippie, if you like, approach with that.
Good.
Yeah. I didn't know how I want to make money. Back 2009, social media wasn't that big.
Yeah,
Social media marketing wasn't that big, at least in my realm, if you like.
sure.
And I was more still on the classical side of things. I was already doing project management with art and delivering art projects and working with
Hmm.
several organizations delivering art-based projects. But I didn't know how to make full-time living with calligraphy. And I kept looking. But that was an important journey, if you like, because I discovered I was limiting myself. And then the more I expand
Yeah.
my understanding of calligraphy and how to merchandise even that, it became more relevant, more apparent to me.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, just on the topic of calligraphy, we can't talk about calligraphy without mentioning the script that you created, which is the QE2 script. Tell us a bit about that script, Richard, and what it really signifies.
Um, uh, it was all about identity. I um, I went and everything I do, there's lots of studying goes in the background, on the side, whatever other directions.
Yeah,
So I've discovered there was a center of calligraphy in Southern University, the only center in the whole of the UK that you can go up to a PhD level with calligraphy. So I went on the off chance. It was actually by mistake that was mentioned in front of me. So I went, had a meeting with Manny Ling, who was the leader of the program, and showed him some of my work. He liked
mm,
it. He's a calligrapher himself. And we decided that we're gonna do a master's on design studies, studying the British Islamic identity in how we can represent that. So we kept it quite broad, if you like. We didn't specify
sure.
to calligraphy.
Yeah,
Um, and then, so I had to research identity, what makes identity, and how it evolved and developed, and where art comes in to express that identity. And then we start looking, how can we employ art? Just keep it broad, that doesn't have to be calligraphy.
yeah,
And then we got with the journey to decided to create a calligraphy script that will express the or symbolize the British Islamic identity. I've done a script, tested, it did not pass. So I did another one. But
hmm,
with this one, the first one was focusing on modernity. So something modern, something to express now. That didn't work. So okay, against my wishes, went back to the roots.
yeah,
But then we had already also a calligrapher, Mustafa Amari, involved from Egypt on board the project because we wanted an independent, also someone who's expert on Arabic calligraphy to be with us for the journey. Um, and and went back and took the Kufi and the Gothic. I mean, there
yes,
was lots of testing searches, and then I married them. And my claim, I didn't need to do this. It's already there. All
yeah,
what I've done is I captured it and presented it. I don't believe that I've done much to it. The script was already there. The relationship was already there. I just needed that little push to say
sure.
we are actually relatives. I can still prove it. That they're relatives. I don't know who's the father was in someone else's neighborhood, but they are so similar. It was such a walk in the park to put them
Yeah,
together, create a script. I mean, having said walk in the park, it took me a couple of months to do it. But that, I suppose when I do it with passion, I still have actually my notebooks, some of my
Amazing.
notebooks that shows, um, which is another important part of the journey as well, how to document it. We will
Yes.
talk about it later. But
Sure.
um, when I look back at it, I realize how many months I've spent. But I can see the relationship, but I had to bring my hand to actually work with it and bring
Yeah.
it together. Eventually, we had that script that we tested. It was approved by our uh, group groups that we tested with. The English part, the Westerners, they can see an English script.
Yes.
The Arabs can see the Arabic script, and that was a great moment. That
But
yes,
it needed somebody like you, Richard, to bring it together. So they may have existed and have had their own fathers, but they needed somebody to bring it together, and that individual was you, thank God. I mean, what a beautiful thing to try and, especially in the world that we're living in right now, right? What a beautiful thing to do to try and amalgamate these cultures together and to give Muslims in this country something that they can use as a pillar of their identity on the British side as well. And I can speak to that because I myself am a British-born Muslim. So, to have something like this script that you have created that represents both of these aspects of what makes me me, I think is a really, really beautiful thing. But I just wanted to ask you, the name of the script, you called it QE2. That's a very interesting name. Why did
I
you
named it
decide to
after the
call it
Queen.
that?
I named it after the Queen.
Amazing. Amazing. And what was going through your head when you decided to name it after the late Queen? What was going through your head?
And in my studies, trying to understand the calligraphy history, if you like, so
Sure.
went back and studied calligraphy. Uh, there was a book by Dr. Khan
Mm-hmm.
who did a book on calligraphy scripts. I've got it here somewhere, maybe there. But she's an Italian doctor, and she had a little book where she captured many scripts, Arabic scripts. And what I've discovered that some scripts are named after cities, which in a way supported my journey that yes, we can name a script after a city or a nationality or a country.
Mm-hmm.
And like you do, no, definitely. The Urdu script, for example, is Pakistani.
Yeah.
And then you have the Farsi script, which is Persian.
Yes.
Um, and they get the Moroccan as well.
Yeah.
Um, so some names doesn't have a nationality, but some names does have nationalities. And but some scripts were designed for the Sultan, for example. They were just for the king. And the last script that was ever created by calligraphers was for King Fuad the First. He wanted to do a script for himself, create a new script. So they did the script for him. They brought
Mm-hmm.
basically the Nasakh and the Ruk'a. They put an overhead V or A without the dash,
Right.
put on the letters, and said, "This is the capitals for you." And now you have a script. That failed, didn't work, it didn't live, and they call it the royal script. Now, my name is Richard Fuad, but
Yes.
I am Fuad the second because actually was named after my grandfather. So Fuad the second created the king. So well, let's give it to the queen.
I love that story, Richard. I really love that story.
Thank you.
Now, obviously, the theme of some of your work is entrenched in the Islamic faith, and I just wanted to ask you, really, what is it about Islamic art or Islamic calligraphy that has really drawn you in, and that why has that really become the primary focus of your work?
Well, Islam obviously is a big thing of our lives as Muslims.
Yeah.
And I say that's across the spectrum. So even if you are not a committed Muslim who's praying 5 times a day, growing a beard, I don't know, doing all the what you should do as a Muslim, which we know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you were not on the other spectrum and they are on the other side, Islam is still a big thing in our lives.
Sure.
Still married by it. We still try to correct our compass by it, and it's a big thing.
Sure.
It's not something we did diminish. And in my studies, I've also come to discover that Islamic art, it's not what people usually say what Islamic art. Islamic art, basically, it should be some, it becomes a term. But actually, Islamic art is, there's a set of moralities that's been set by Islam. And within that, everything is allowed.
Sure.
So when you say Islamic art, people then refer that in terms of terminology to terms, to calligraphy and pattern.
Sure.
But it's wider than that. It's like the Roman,
Yeah.
for example, art. It's got the architecture, it's got the textile, it's got the jewelry, it's the pottery, etc. Um, but what drew me to it? I think the answer is short. I don't know, but I love it. It must be something in the subconscious, might be something the way I grow up. But keep in mind, when I research identity, I research what home and what makes home. There's
Yes.
lots of things that you acquired. There is a research by, I've got it here. It's called the blank slate. And it says, we are born with 400 traits. So some of them physical and apparent.
Mm-hmm.
So you take lineage from, for example, similarities, attributes from your from your father or mother's side. But similarly, the character as well.
Yeah.
So part of it is, this is why you like, for example, things are citrus or sweet and bitter. So why do you love things? Sometimes you don't have an answer to it.
Yes.
My father had a big influence on me. He's the first love of my life. So it had
Yes.
that on me. But apart from that, from what I know on my conscious level, I love the precision, the architecture. I love when I mix art with it. So in my studies, I've studied, if you like, the Japanese calligraphy, the Chinese calligraphy. I've read about their philosophy in the white spaces,
Yes.
the Western calligraphy, and the color mixing and the construction, the structure of it. And I love how I can, if you like, play with all these brushes while I'm creating my artwork rather than be stick to one rigid school.
Nice. That's a beautiful answer, Richard. Um, we're very fortunate that we have one of your paintings in our home, an original piece that you gifted to us back in
It's my fortune
2015.
that you have it.
We also have another calligraphy piece of yours that was done in ink. And these, what I really love about your painting in particular is it has at the heart of it, of course, the Arabic calligraphy, but your use of color and texture and everything are just so beautiful. It's one of the most striking pieces that we own, and we're very fortunate to have that. I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite medium that you work in? Do you like pencil, pen, painting? What is your favorite way to create?
My favorite is vibrant colors.
Okay.
So whatever gets me there.
Yeah.
A brush, a wood, a card, because Hassan Masoudi paints with a card. He actually cut
Yes.
the card, he just paints with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I bought like crazy pens over pens and after pens and holders and nibs and what have you. Um, I love sometimes how things feel in their hand, what have you, the way it flows. But what I love most is vibrant colors and whatever gets me there.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the ability that in my journey, I've learned a lot about calligraphy, and I went spend a year or so just learning about Western calligraphy, for example, and then Chinese calligraphy, and I had the honor to be with Haji Nuruddin.
Oh, really?
Yes,
A Chinese calligrapher.
yes, and somebody gave him a couple of words about me, so we end up already he knows a bit about me, having a chat and teach me a couple of things. So I blend with him. Samir Malik,
Yes.
he's great with creativity. So all that work together, and Samir in particular, he taught me it's not about the tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's never about the tool. It's about the creativity. But what I like is those vibrant colors. I don't like dull. Even if it was just there's a three paintings that I've done. I might have pictures of them. I'll send it to you. They are embossed symbols of the Kaaba, the Medina, and Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And where there's gold, there was gold, and just on a blank card.
Sure.
And I've written with the black cursive Western English words, Medina, Mecca, and Qudus. But the simplicity was just, I just loved it. I loved it.
Wow. Yeah,
So
we'll definitely have
vibrant,
to see those,
but
Richard.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes that
Nice.
works.
Well, we obviously you're one of our featured artists on IslamicArtPrints.com, and we have a few of your paintings on there. As I mentioned at the start of this interview, the first time I met you was at the expo back in 2015. And I can remember asking you about a particular painting of yours. And when you gave me the meaning, when you told me the meaning behind that painting, my mind was completely blown because I had never heard an artist speak about their work in the way that you spoke about your work. It was actually quite mind-blowing. And the two paintings that I really wanted to ask you about that we feature on our website, the first one is The Three Heroes. If you can give me a bit of an insight into what that painting means and what was going through your head when you created it. And the second one, which has always been a bit of an enigma, a bit of a mystery for me, is latte. I have no idea what that one means. I
Mm,
love the name because I'm a coffee drinker and I
mm,
love the use of the color in that one, but I have no idea what is the thought process that went into creating that piece. So
okay,
could you give us a bit of an explanation about those two pieces, Richard?
okay. I'll start with latte.
Yeah,
So there's lots of letters that just floating around.
yeah,
There's a couple of strokes. Um, so you got the head of Ha or Jim or Ha, just the head
yeah.
of it. And then you have the stroke of B, those two big ones. And then and it's bad because you got the dot underneath it. So that's hub.
Okay.
But just to give a bit of context as well, I mean, the colors supposed to express latte,
Yes.
but I've made a series of it, and most of it has gone to Arabic countries. Um, I still got espresso and latte.
Okay.
Um,
So there was a caffeine theme there, Richard.
yeah, cappuccino is gone. But I made a series of them. They're all called the
Nice.
coffee art, calligraphy. I think I call it at that exhibition.
Love it. Love it.
Um, and the theme was that as a child, mom always sits with her friends in the mornings, and they drink the coffee, tip the it's a Turkish coffee, so it's got all the grinds in, tip
Yes.
it, read it. I think it's called something like tea leaves. They read the tea leaves. So they keep reading in it, and they say, "Oh, I can see big ring. Somebody's getting married. I can see this and the other." And I'm looking at it. I have no idea. I don't see it, but whatever fortune tellers they do.
Uh-huh.
So that inspired me. So I put letters together, trying to ignite, if you like, the imagination. And I put a few things, hoping that people can pick up, the words that says hub, she, um, mom, and just scattered letters because we are also, this is, I don't, I forgot the name of it, but our mind works in a way that we always have to find logic in
Yes.
things, pattern and logic. We always, so also I'll put a few things and leave it for people to
And
make it up.
whatever comes out is that's on you, right?
Mhm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
But
I
I
love
did
it.
put the word love and she.
And do you know what? I'm never going to look at that in the same way again now. Now that I know what it means. Amazing. Really amazing. And how about the three heroes, Richard?
The three heroes, which one you referring to? Did you have the little
The three
letters?
memes. The three
Yeah,
memes in the middle.
but
Yeah.
at the bottom, does it have all letters at the bottom or just the three
Mm,
memes?
just the three memes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the three memes, because that I've used in several paintings. So you've got the three memes starting from the right. So there will be Moses,
Yeah.
Messiah, and Muhammad. We're very big on abbreviations and acronym, and we just keep looking into this. Um, and that hit me one day how similar the three Abrahamic faiths, messengers, and
Yeah.
prophets have the name. They all have the same first letter: Moses, Messiah, and Muhammad, the brothers. So, my message, if you like, I'm putting the three together, and each one in a meme is slightly different than the other. So I'm not here trying to make the perfect meme. that will look identical because
Hmm.
each one of them is a character.
Of course.
And each one of them have their own character, unique character. So to me, it's a character that I'm actually trying to represent. And um, and my message is they have lots of similarities, opening to say we believe that they are all the Abrahamic faith. We believe they're going to be in heaven. They're going to be brothers there having tea and cakes together while we're fighting among each other, supporting one against the other. I mean, it's not football match. Come on.
No. But again, you know, the message that you've just told us there is so, so important for the time that we're living in right now and everything that's going on around the world. I think the significance behind that painting is probably even more heightened in the time that we're living in right now. So thank you for again for giving us an explanation of that painting, Richard. It's really beautiful to hear. I already knew the meaning behind that because you and I had spoken about this in the past, but I think it's really good to share with the people who follow us as well. So thank you for that, Richard.
Pleasure.
Um, Tell us, your creative process. Let's talk about your creative process a bit. Do you
Hmm.
have a certain ritual, or how do you go about creating your work? How do you put yourself in that mind space where you can start channeling the piece that comes out onto the paper or the canvas?
Um, Different people have different traits.
Yeah.
So as I said, we were all born with 400 traits. So there's lots of things I can take credit for. It is what it is. I am what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my brother, for example, is big on math and mechanic, and he's just a whiz there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrible with numbers, as I've already mentioned. Um, but my forte, if you like, what I've learned to learn, what I come to learn now, is I'm creative. But one of the things that I've learned is how that my father was looking into it as a child. He was nourishing that talent, if you like, supporting
Yeah.
it, like fathers sometimes do and parents. So what I've learned to do later when I start becoming more focusing on the calligraphy, try to understand about myself and my pattern, my biological clock, if you like,
Yeah.
when's my creativity is quite heightened and not, and then try to work a pattern where I can organize my day, create a process that works for me, that it can eventually produce work and learn the
Mm-hmm.
skills that I need to get there. So that's all a journey. So I know, for example, I'm quite in the creative zone in the mornings.
Okay.
I wake up in the morning, do whatever I need to do, and then I'm in the creative zone. So, for example, I'll try my best not to do anything to do with business side until 12 o'clock.
Nice.
So I block my almost every day, and I call it morning learnings, and that just do calligraphy, do art, do create anything that needs creativity during that process. But
Amazing.
there is also the theory. So, for example, I've learned, let me show you a couple of things. So
Sure.
that's the pleasure of having the camera. So is it so this all are my notebooks
Uh-huh.
from uni from 2014.
Oh, wow.
Take one for example. Oh, that's notebook, sorry, that's yeah. Oh, that yeah, there we go. So it's I take notes and then look into analyze it, put the notes. Can you still see it?
I can see it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see it.
So and this is one of the latest ones. If I go to the earliest
Amazing.
ones. Oh, I keep writing, but it's not. Then I don't keep writing on the same paper. I leave it to go back and examine it,
Uh-huh.
think about it, um, and keep developing it and make notes on it, and then go back and study it. I have, for example,
Wow.
uh, my idea. So when I have sketches, ideas, things to finish, design process and templates, originals, sketches to sell, and posters.
Love it.
I organize my work so I can really work with it, and um, uh, then there's a process then, rather than be
Uh-huh.
random and spend 50% of my time trying to find where things are. Um,
I love it.
things tidy up, all my paintings, all my tools up in the drawers, organized to a good level. Uh,
To a very good level. I've seen your level of organization when you've come for events and we've met you at events, and mashallah,
thank
your
you.
all of the things that the way you keep all your pens and your papers and everything is always immaculate, Richard. But thank you for giving us a little sneak peek into your creative process. That was really
Yeah,
beautiful, really, really nice.
thank you.
And I suppose related to that is, do you feel that there is a connection between faith and art?
Definitely. The thing is, in the Quran, Allah says, um, no, sorry, we've got the Prophet's narration, "Inna Allahu jamil yuhibbu al-jamal." So Allah Azza wa Jal is beautiful and He loves the beauty.
Hmm.
Um, and even when He said created Adam, وَجَعَلْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. So He said, I've created Adam in the best form. And the hadith as well, Muhammad ﷺ says, Allah Azza wa Jal loves when somebody do something, you do it to the best ability, but keep perfecting it. Um, and there is a relationship between perfection and beauty. We always seek uh, beauty
Yeah.
until Duchamp came in 1920 and then smashed the whole theory behind of art have to be beautiful. Until that point, it was, and there's plenty of artists since then who wants no beauty is art have to stay there. But even when you see a pattern, so for example, when you see a building, there's lots of pattern, for example, or the Islamic patterns, for example.
Yeah.
People, when they see that, they say it's beautiful.
Sure.
And there's been a lot of studies in Sufism. They've tried to link the pattern with the sacred script, trying to bring it together. Um, the pattern of the Quran and the letters and what have you. There's lots of pattern, and then so pattern, 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 pattern. Faith does encourage beauty because it does encourage people show uh, the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal on you, and be beautiful, be presentable, um, be nice. But that's the word nice then that will open the whole flow with what is nice and then become nice
Thank you, Richard.
and different art.
That's really beautiful. Thanks. Thank you, Richard. Um, I just wanted to ask you because, mashallah, you do so many things. You're a business owner, you're a teacher, you're an artist, you've been an architect, you've done so many things. You're involved in charitable organizations. What fills your heart the most out of all of those things? Is it possible for you to pick one, or is it an amalgamation of all of those?
Something in me always drive me to achievement. The
Okay.
bigger the challenge, the better. That's what challenged me always. So when you, for
Uh-huh.
example, building up a building, I enjoy spending that year, 2, 3, 4 years, knowing how it's going to be, inshallah, before everybody
Mashallah.
can see it. And eventually it's there serving a purpose. People are enjoying it. I've designed the first mosque in the city center of Newcastle.
Wow.
I sit there and I look at the people, how they interacting with the space, how the space is accommodating them. But equally, when I do an artwork, I try to sit aside, see how people are enjoying it, what's the feedback, what's their comments. Sometimes I step in and speak with them. Um, I love beauty. That's what I love. I love achievements. I love beauty, and I love charity. If I can put the three together, and I do when I can.
Yes, I think anyone who knows you know that you do when you can, and it's one of the many things we love about you, Richard. One of the many things we love about you.
Thank you.
I do have a series of very short fire questions that I'm going to ask you at the end, but there was one final main question that I wanted to ask you before we move on to the short, sharp ones. What is the one thing that you hope people will take away from your work when they look at your work? What is the one thing that you hope they take away? What is there an overarching message there?
Yeah, that we are the same. I mean, even my script, I keep saying it's the same letters, just bilingual.
Okay.
I'm trying to say character, so we are characters, and that's bilingual.
Yeah.
We are the same. It's just we speak different languages, we have different cultures. We are the same mother and father, Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Just chill out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for that, Richard. Um, so now I've got some very quick questions to ask you that they don't require a lot of thought and probably only need like a one-word answer from you, okay? So,
Mhm.
are you a morning or a night person?
Both.
Both. What's your favorite place in the world?
Home.
Um, Name a book that changed your life.
Just one.
Just one.
The Quran.
A food that you could eat every day.
Hmm. Uh, it's hummus or tabbouleh, but I'll go with tabbouleh.
That's a good one. That's a good one. An artist who inspires you. Doesn't have to be Islamic, but could be an Islamic artist.
There's quite a few, but I'll go with Samin Malik.
That's a beautiful answer. Your favorite color to paint with or to work with.
Uh, I like the blues, so it depends.
Okay, so a
All
shade
this
of
is kind
blue.
of yeah, even that because that's kind of bit shade of the blue. That
Okay.
purpley, pinky
If you weren't an artist, what would you be?
artist.
A tool in your studio that you can't live without.
My pen.
A hidden talent that people don't know you have.
Hmm. Um, Talent. I'm not sure if it's the talent. Um, I think there's aspect of my creativity. I've got the eye to spot details that I can then make them into art.
Okay. Nice, nice.
Creativity, I suppose. That
Okay. And the last question I've got for you, which might be slightly longer than a one-word answer. What's the best advice you have ever received?
don't ever give up.
I like that. You kept it quick. You still managed to keep it quick. I thought that was going to be a long answer there, but that's a great answer. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Um, Richard, it's been an absolute pleasure spending this time talking to you.
Likewise.
Thank you, honestly, sincerely from my heart for giving us the opportunity to learn from you and to benefit from your talent and your creativity. Thank you for supporting Islamic art prints over the years and for supporting us as people as well. And we really do wish you all of the best in all of the amazing work that you're doing up in Newcastle with
Thank
the
you.
Islamic Sharia Council, your food hall, all of the various ventures that you're involved with. We really do wish you all of the best
And
in
the art
in
gallery coming soon.
the art gallery that's coming soon. Hopefully, we'll feature some of our work and our artists there as
Yes.
well.
Yes,
Inshallah,
please.
let's see. But no, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you as
Likewise.
always.
Mutual.
And you carry our love and our blessings for everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll learn from you as well. So thank you very much. Very humble. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Richard.